Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? I hope everyone's having a good day. This is Yagan Mills. Let's just jump right on into it. I just got through watching a Ghost of Eights video or Jason Hudson video, essentially. And he was praising what NeuroCinema had to say. And apparently, NeuroCinema was going off, apparently, at Call of Duty, Activision, Microsoft, whatever you want to call them. And NeuroCinema was showcasing the simple fact that they're showcasing the battle pass. They're trying to get people to buy the battle pass and things like that. And I get it. As a business, I get it. Nero Cinema has no clue, really, at the end of the day, what he's talking about. This has been the case essentially from the get go. And mind you, he's on PC. So one of the things I wanted to point out, and I'm showcasing, and mind you, I'm on PS5. Okay. I don't have to deal with shaders. Okay. And it's a one time thing where I have to deal with the battle pass advertisement and stuff like that, right? I mean, it's a new season. If you haven't opened up Call of Duty, yeah, you're going to be bombarded with the Call of Duty Battle Pass. It happens. But notice how, for me, I already went through it. I didn't have to grift about it. I didn't have to go out of my way, start a whole nother account, or hop on the PC and then just clip certain aspects of the game because you haven't played or used that account. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, a new season. Notice how I didn't have to do that. Notice how I didn't have to grift and use that section of the introduction of a game to do that. You know what I mean? Like, in my case, okay, if NeuroCinema really plays Call of Duty, hypothetically, okay, then he should have realized that since season 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and now, right, that's been the case. Matter of fact, they've been advertising the Battle Pass like that since 2019. So it boggles my mind why all at once now he's upset about it. Okay, and then he wants to go ahead and call out people who buy the black cell, for example, and says, "Oh, you're part of the problem." Nigga, please. Please. Spare me. Spare me. How dare you, Mr. Grifter, because you couldn't get anything, you couldn't even get viewers or anything like that until you became a Blame Truth Junior. You saw what Blame Truth was doing and you decided to run the grift. See, you're a follower, you're not a leader. Okay, now I'm just calling out NeuroCinema because it's weird because it's disappointing. It's weird and disappointing all at once because I grew up watching NeuroCinema, and as far as I'm concerned, dude's been bending the elbow way too much, and I'm sorry to say, dude, you got your vices and shit like that. I get that, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep it 100. If you were complaining about it now, you best have been complaining about it since at least 2019, and you weren't. Matter of fact, you were dick riding Infinity Ward a while back ago. There are so many other things right now with Call of Duty that should be addressed, but you're more worried about how they advertise the Black Cell and the Battle Pass to other people around the world globally, whoever has access to Call of Duty. There are so many more things. Like let me just point this out, NeuroCinema. Instead of bitching and complaining about the notion of the Battle Pass and how it's always in front of you one time, once every 2 months, 3 months, how about we address the fact that when we load up the game, for example, our operator is not rendering or showing the proper operator? How about that? How about we address that? So again, Treyarch, Activision, Infinity Ward, Activision, Sledgehammer Games, Activision. Let's go ahead and address this problem. So when a player, in this case, when a player goes in and plays multiplayer, as you will see, okay, we see that the operator that's usually selected is not the operator that we left off with. Like, mind you, okay, I have the pre-order skin, and then on top of that, I have the other skin, which I believe is one of the Black Cell skins as well on the other side. So when you go into the multiplayer, right, what you'll see is the default skin, the Mason skin. And that's the skin I use generally for in-game. So when I go to multiplayer, you're not seeing my pre-order skin right up front. And I think that needs to be addressed. So again, devs at Treyarch, whoever's handling Black Ops 7, can we go ahead and get this addressed? Because apparently, I believe this is more important to immerse yourself, to make sure you leave off where you left off. And there are certain situations, knowing that I have this particular skin, think about how I use the operator that I'm pointing out. That's not the operator that I selected and left off with, and I don't use that operator generally in multiplayer. So, and I don't have them selected. And then on top of that, I want you to pay attention to the gun that I'm using. I'm using the AN-94 or whatever it's called, right? That assault rifle. In some instances, when I'm loading up into a match, it'll default to the Mod 15. Okay, the Mod 15 assault rifle. So I'm already pointing out an issue that I've noticed that's in game that I'm sure it's affecting other people. But instead, mind you, again, and I'm being serious about this change. It needs to be addressed because this wasn't happening in season 4. It's now happening in season 5. And I think it needs to be addressed. Okay. Now, and I'll end it with that. I hope the devs address it and we'll see. Okay. Outside of that, there are content creators who think it's more important to blast or assumingly blast Activision because they're not getting what they want. And at the end of the day, regardless of what the PR team does at Activision or Call of Duty or whatever, regardless of what they do, they're going to do what they want to do. They're either going to respond to you if they want to. They're going to make changes that they want to make. You can propose a change just like I did, okay? But bitching and complaining will only get you so far. And keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when all you do is bitch, moan, and complain about the practices, business practices, about how Activision, Microsoft, Call of Duty makes money, you have to be consistent. There's a reason why I don't complain about the Battle Pass. Do I like it? And not so much. I think it's a little dated, along with the freaking supply drops. Do I think it's a less egregious? Oh, absolutely. Can I ignore the simple fact that I don't have the Black Cell? Yes. Can I ignore the fact that I don't have the Battle Pass right now? Absolutely. But I also know I'll have the opportunity as I progress on the free track that I can get the Battle Pass once I complete it, right? So at the end of the day, I don't understand why you have grifters talking about why it's such a bad thing to get free stuff. I want you to let that sink in real quick. Nero Cinema is complaining about a battle pass that he's getting for free. And I want you to think about this real quick because he makes about $2,000 a month on top of maybe whatever else he does. And he's bitching about a $30 battle pass. My dude, you're really complaining about a $30 cost. Imagine that. You who bought probably the ports for Black Ops 1 and 2, and you're complaining? Cry me a river, my dude. If you bought Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, don't be trying to complain about people who frickin' bought the battle pass then. Like, you have no business. You spent $40 on that. And maybe the season pass. You probably spent more. You're part of the problem. Nero Cinema is part of the problem, and I could easily say that regardless, because you're buying into what the days of old. You're living in the past, my friend, and that's okay. You can live in the past, but those of us who want to live in the now, the here and the now, and the future, and look forward to Modern Warfare 4, like myself, I already pre-ordered it. I'm part of the problem. You know why? Because I'm not going to sit here and perpetuate and grift over something that I know damn well I have no control over. I can give suggestions. I can do that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I enjoy. And if I'm being honest, I don't think Nero Cinema enjoys grifting. I believe he has no choice but to do it. Think about that real quick. If you go back to Nero Cinema's older videos, notice how he doesn't grift. He actually has genuine enjoyment for Call of Duty. I'm being serious. And it's funny because I went back and watched his one of his older videos like 14 years ago, and he was going over the layout and the Easter egg for Intersection in Modern Warfare 4. It was New York. It was based in New York. It was one of the DLC maps. It was a face-off map. No, Modern Warfare 3. That's what it was. The dude was using some language that probably wouldn't fly now, interestingly enough. So it's very interesting how much he's grifting and how far he's fallen. I mean, Blatant Truth has fallen. I mean, let's be real. I mean, I didn't grow up watching Blatant Truth. I think I started watching him during Modern Warfare 2019, but I've been watching Nero Cinema since roughly 2008-ish. And I started backtracking on his videos and watching them. And the dude seemed genuinely excited and genuinely passionate about what he was doing. And the thing is that there's very few content creators who play Call of Duty anymore for entertainment and for their own enjoyment. And I think I'm one of the last ones. And I still use YouTube as an outlet to, of course, broadcast yourself. Yeah, are there some regulations that I have to follow? Yeah. And at the end of the day, calling someone out, calling out a group of people, the pussification of freaking content creators. I mean, it is what it is. It's fact. That's what it is. And eventually we all get older. we all age, we all mature at some point, right? So at the end of the day, when I look at Nero Cinema and how far he's fallen, like it's sad, man. It truly is. It truly is. And the funny thing is that if I'm ever blessed to have kids in my lifetime, dude, Nero Cinema is off the chopping is on the chopping block as far because I want to at least show my kids, right, of what gaming really is all about. It's not about, obviously being on your phone 24/7. It's not about grifting 24/7 like Blame Truth and Narrow Cinema. I don't want to use them as an examples to essentially potentially sway or ruin my own kids' perception about how video games are. I want to show them like how things used to be. And that's why I've generally saved a lot of older videos because I want to show them what life was before the pussification of everything. And if I'm a bad guy for saying that, then so be it. Then so be it. But I'm just at a point where there's no more joy in, playing Call of Duty anymore. And it's really sad because though I may not like every single change that the dev studio does in Call of Duty, I can at least adapt to it and I can find, appreciation in it. And it's funny because Nero Cinema can't, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He won't, because it would go against everything he's about. Because he goes from being passionate about what he enjoys to grifting and seeing what everyone's doing. And honestly, again, like I said, that's being a follower, not a leader, man. And if that's the route he wants to go for, man, go for it. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I just wish that we had more authentic YouTubers nowadays. Just overall, more authentic YouTubers, from Call of Duty to video gaming to news broadcast. Everyone seems to always have some sort of script, and it's kind of inauthentic. It's not genuine. It's not organic. And as far as I'm concerned, I would rather it just be organic. I don't think generally Blame Truth follows a general script. I'm sure he has something. The same thing with the One Boom. But at the end of the day, I've never used a script, and I've tried, and I don't like it. It just feels fake. I don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's just at this point, you gotta cut ties where you gotta cut ties because it'll just bring you down with it, and you don't want that. Like if you continually decide to watch grifter channels, right? Then what do you think that's going to do to your psyche? What do you think that's going to do to you and your outlook of the world, your outlook of gaming? Like when I talk to my friends alone, they don't like Call of Duty. They're like, well, Call of Duty's this and this change and this. Why don't you just fucking play it? Why don't you just hop in and just join the shit with the friends? Why don't you just do that? Instead of listening to everything else what everyone else has been telling you, why don't you just learn to find enjoyment in things, man? I don't like Fortnite, but every now and then I'll hop in on Fortnite on my own with some friends. I don't like Fortnite. I don't like Black Ops 1. I decided to buy Black Ops 1, the port, because my friends did, because they enjoyed it. They weren't bitching and complaining about it, but they enjoyed it. And mind you, I don't like Black Ops 1. So when I look at the foundation of everything that has become from where we were to where we're at now, I'm just saying, the whole point of video games is to just have fun, man. And that's what it's about. Not to grift, not to take advantage of your viewer base. None of that. You may not like all the changes that they may have, but the least you could do is just point out, hey, what you would do different. What would you do different instead? Nero Cinema made his take. I don't think it was very well delivered, though. And I think their response is exactly that. If you don't like the Black Ops or the Battle Pass, go get your ass on Black Ops 1 and 2. That's why we have the ports. Anywho, remember always, peace be with you. Leave a like, subscribe, comment below. It's a Tuesday. We're not even halfway through the freaking week yet. Ciao, guys. Remember always, peace be with you.